Really eager to see what he chooses to bring out. Good luck, have fun, boy, says Stephano. GG, good luck, says EG's Puma. And what do you think, Kaldor? What are we going to see this time?
Well, I guess
Would you like to make any bold predictions? Would you like to make any bold predictions?
Well, I think in the early game we are probably seeing a standard play out of both of these players. Stephano taking an early second base, trying to just spread his creep a little bit to the ramp, maybe down the ramp in order to have a good grasp against the Hellions that we are probably going to see from Puma. Especially on Antigua Shipyard, Reactor Factory Hellions are usually the bread and butter build for Terran, just trying to push the creep back a bit, trying to deny the third base. And Antigua Shipyard evolves a lot around the fourth, because usually it's kind of easy to take a third base for the ZerG player. They usually take it a little bit later in order to give the advantage a little bit to the tech, but after that we usually see this third. For the Terran player, exactly the same, but the fourth base, that is where it gets tricky.
Sure, yeah, I totally agree. Something from Cloud Kingdom that I want to come back to. Puma went for Blue Flame Hellions, and he never really made any after he lost those first Hellions out in the middle of the map. And I really wonder if that would have had any effect on the outcome of the game had he continued to produce Hellions and utilize that important Blue Flame upgrade.
The one thing that I would have loved to see is not necessarily an attack with an army of Blue Flame Hellions, but maybe just mix it up a little bit and go for a Blue Flame Hellion drop into the base. His drop play was impeccable, and if he is able to drop a couple of Blue Flame Hellions into the mineral line of Stephano, then suddenly the ZerG player loses at least 10 of his drones.
Once again, we got Puma going. We're a Tech Lab opening, so really liking this this early Reaper.
Yeah, he loves the Reaper play. We don't see the Reactor Factory Hellions that we've been expecting. So Reaper once again, and let's see if Stephano is able to shut down this Reaper harass as easily as he did on Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah, I would imagine that. Well, I mean, the Reaper looks like it's coming a little bit faster this time. No Queens having been started yet. Obviously, without the pool being done, they can't start. Reaper's going to pop out in 20 seconds. Pool's going to be done in 5. So I think Queens should be ready in time. But still, Reaper is such a valuable tool. It gets in the base, it gets a little bit of scouting done. Almost always going to be able to kill a drone or two. Last time, Stephano completely denied it. But I do suspect we'll see Puma control it a little bit more carefully here on Antigua.
We've been talking to Stephano early on quite a little bit, and he said that one of the timing attacks that he really loves on Antigua is actually evolving around fast 2-2 upgrades for his Zerglings and just try to get in there with Zerglings, Banelings, and a couple of Infestors. Maybe he will resort to this strategy now. We have his opponent with a factory at the Tech Lab and going for the reactor straight away. The Reaper headed into the main base, already spotted by the Overlord, and will probably get at least 1 or 2 drone kills.
Stephano, oh, look at the surround with the drones, Stephano. Why is your control so good? Still manages to lose a single drone. Yeah, I get that Reaper wasn't totally wasted. It saw the gas. It saw no drones mining gas. If Puma clicked on it, he saw that there's been 100 gas mines. So he's got an idea of what Stephano's opening with. Factory was sitting on that Tech Lab, so I thought for a second we might see another Blue Flame Hellion game, but instead it's just going to be a quick double command center for Puma.
Exactly, he's going for a similar build to the build that he used on Cloud Kingdom. We already have him upgrading his command center at the low ground.
It's the same opening minus Blue Flame.
Yep. You're exactly right. The Blue Flame Hellion upgrade is this time not playing a big role in the build of Puma, but he's just resorting to the early third again. And this is something that we've seen by tons of Terran players. A lot of ZerGs, like for example NMrUUG, like to attack with early roaches in order to put a little pressure onto their opponent. Just to attack with a 7 to 9 roaches can deal so much damage if there are no marauders and no tank. So this is something that we could see from Stephano, but usually his builds evolve a little bit more about the macro game and not about all-in strategies.
Yeah, I mean, it's so seldom that you see either of these guys all in, quite frankly, unless you're talking about TVP and Puma. But Puma's 1-1-1 is not all in. It just keeps going until he wins.
Right now we have him on 40 drones against 26 SCVs, and we have one Zergling trying to sneak in, but the Hellions shut down the scouting attempt. The low ground, obviously already the orbital command, and here's the first evolution chamber. First evolution chamber for Stephano, and a pretty late take, but he's on double gas right now. Double gas, and he's taking 2 additional gas, so that's a lot of gas for Stephano. He will definitely start attack very, very soon, and the double evolution chamber is already being built, so we might just see exactly what he said. He might use the early upgrades. There they are, +1 armor already being researched.
Stephano said he was going to do this. It's a prepared timing attack. There's the Baneling nest going down, so you're going to see 2-2 Zerglings, Banelings, and Infestors. And he's going to try to bust right through Puma. It's going to be a few minutes from now. He's still got to kind of get everything rolling. but we can already see the workings of this build coming together.
And here are the Hellions trying to get up the ramp, but they're not able to see. One scan reveals the creep tumor, takes it down, but that's all that he can accomplish for now. A bunch of Lings in the back in order to prevent entrance into the main base, and the Spine Crawler, in addition to the Queen, is obviously enough in order to repel those Hellions. The lair tech is going on right now, while Puma is preparing his bio army with Stim, with +1 attack, +1 armor. So pretty passive game for both of these players, just the early game that we usually see on Antigua.
All right, so we've talked about the possibility of a Baneling bust here. Let's look at what's going on in Puma's base. He's got no tech lab on his factory. He's just kind of popping it around, making reactors for his starport and for his barracks. Finally, the factory going to go settle down and make a tech lab here at about the 9-minute, 15-second mark. So his siege tech is quite delayed. If Stephano's going to wait for 2-2, obviously Puma's going to have siege mode in time. But if Stephano goes at 1-1, it could be a very effective bust.
And I have to say that there's a little bit of a misstep by Puma, because Stephano is now able to take a third base, and those Hellions are usually just in position to deny exactly this move. They need to deny the third base. So the fact that the drone was able to sneak past the Hellions is already a little bit of a misstep by Puma, and Stephano with an earlier third hatch that he usually would have been able to pull off. We have him now with the infestation pit, as just mentioned, and here come the Zerglings trying to surround the Hellions and get rid of this threat, taking back the map control. He's catching 3 of them immediately, taking down a 4th. Nice position by Stephano. It looks so effortless, it is unbelievable.
Stephano's Zergling micro is something that is absolutely noteworthy. He does little things like micro sections of his Lings to get good surrounds. And they're just small moves, but they make the most huge differences. How often do we see Zerg players chase Hellions forever and then lose them all to some cute Hellion control? Stephano doesn't allow that to happen because he's always microing individual sections of his Zergling ball. We see Baneling speed finishing up infested, what's it called? Fungal pathogen glands is the name of that upgrade. That's also on the way. 2-2 also coming. So yeah, 2-2 infested or infestor's Zergling Baneling is absolutely what's coming for Stephano.
Exactly the push that he predicted, the timing tech. Let's see if Puma is going to be ready for it. Puma is now just building 2 bunkers already, which is kind of smart. He has the first tank in the back, and he's going for the siege mode. So he might be able to just defend against the attack of his opponent. Let's see if Puma is able to pull it off. We have 30 additional Zerglings being built for Stephano now. He's on 120 supply against 89, and Puma just trying to prepare for it. Finally the starport with the reactor in order to get the first medivacs out.
Both players hitting supply blocks here at about the 12-minute mark. Puma hitting one at about 100 supplies. Stephano stuck at 120. Both of them adding tons of depots and tons of overlords. A little bit of a drop here in the back of Stephano's main base. He does have units in position to come back and deal with it, though. How much is he going to lose? Queen's going to take some damage. Queen's actually going to die.
Taking down the Queen, and in a nice position between the extractor and the mineral patches, trying to distract his opponent quite a bit, and obviously also aware of the huge Zergling count that we see for Stephano now. In total, he already has 95 of them. 95 Zerglings and a ton of gas banked up for the Banelings. This is going to be quite brutally streaming across the map now, with most of them. Rebuilds the Queen. How many infestors do we have? 4 of them, and here they are, the Banelings, 33 in total.
But Puma is preparing for this. He's got 4 bunkers, he's got tanks on high ground. I don't think Stephano can bust this, Kaldor.
Puma definitely knows what's coming. His job is still trying to put a little bit of pressure onto the Zerg player. And here we have Stephano preparing for his push. +2/+2 is about to hit. And then we'll see him go for this attack. But is he able to take down his opponent's defense? Once again, the small drop play by Puma, not accomplishing anything right now. Stephano still with a bunch of Zerglings in the back.
Only 3 tanks out. Infested Terran's going to try to soak up the first couple of shots. Here come the Zerglings. Immediately, Marines load up every one of the bunkers. Lings continue to roll in. Baneling's going to come crushing through Stephano with a very powerful timing here. Puma as prepared as he possibly could be, but still taking so much damage. Baneling's making it all the way to the mineral line in the natural. Zerglings and Banelings all over the third base. Puma taking catastrophic amounts of damage here.
This is insane. The Lings at the third, at the second, they're just everywhere, taking down Puma's units, and he is down to 40 supply. He's losing the third, he's losing the second. He lost 45 SCVs in this attack. This is just insane. Stephano with a beautiful timing attack, and despite Puma's efforts to defend against it, he just completely crumbles.
Yeah, that was as well prepared as Puma could have possibly been, given everything that he did